dirty scoundrel, living life on the down low. I've been to hell and sat with the men of the household. My heart froze, but you don't wanna know how cold.
Drums.
One, but I ain't one you should count on. Buckle up, blast them, an avalanche, smash your fans down on your master plan. When I plan it,
Hopkins.
massive pack of elephants, charge you with cataracts, so call an ambulance on the start.
This one's entitled Witch Doctor.
No problems, I'm serious, I am too sick. I promise I ain't delirious, I can prove it. This nigga, I'm Arius Tyson toothpick. Undercover prodigy, visualize the movement.
Woo!
There's a brand new side of me that's emerging. Even fuck around and break you all proper, you gon' need to see the fucking witch doctor. So nigga, deep game, no shame. I won't ever change. You don't want the backlash. Why you acting like a badass? Slow down.
Enough. Right now, people, it's that time. Listen, this one is another big one right now. We are going to reach out for the one and only, the Bad Witch. Let's get it.
Hello?
Yo, what's up? Bad
Hello?
Witch. What's up?
Hi.
Uncle Drummer, you good?
I'm alright, you? Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Alright, how's your day been? Alright?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. What about you?
Oh man, busy weekend, man. Too much going on, but you know, just got to deal with it, innit?
Just got to keep rolling with it. Sometimes it's better to be busy.
Very true, very true. Anyway, let's jump in, yeah?
Alright, cool.
Alright, first things first. Can you give the people a little breakdown on what it is that you are and what it is that you do? Little one, just a little one.
Little one, okay. So I've always been into spiritual things, but could never find myself like following any set thing. So I opened a coven, what started on Instagram, but now it's sort of on all platforms. What was for like-minded people that are, you know, when you think of witch, you think of weird white people dancing in a field.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No,
Yeah,
it's just not that. So when I started the Bad Witch Coven, my name wasn't the Bad Witch then, but I started the Bad Witch Coven, and eventually a lot of people started calling me the Bad Witch, and therefore I picked up the nickname. So now we have like a Facebook group, we have an Instagram group, we have an online shop, what's the badwitchcoven.com. We're just sort of trying to help people really connect with the divine and connect with themselves.
Okay, got you. Because when I saw your picture, when I added you on WhatsApp, I thought that you was called the Bad Witch because you actually a very, very pretty woman. So I was thinking that, you know, that they got these girls saying they're bad bitches on Instagram. So I thought, oh, probably you're saying that because you get me.
It's a bit about that, but it's more about that I have a confidence in myself where it's like I stand up for what I believe in and what I think, and I am sort of into that sort of culture that a bad bitch and the terminology comes from. So like I'm surrounded with rappers and I'm married to a rapper. I'm very like sort of plugged into the culture, and I grew up in London, close to yourself.
Got you.
So yeah, it sort of mixes the both, and it also shows that you don't have to be some weird person in a field in order to be a witch or to be spiritual.
True. All right, next question I want to ask you now, yeah? Being a witch, yeah, does witches follow any kind of religions or anything like that?
Well, to me, there's all different sort of forms of witchcraft. So I'm white in it. So I'm white, and for looking into witchcraft as a white person, I was actually speaking to someone today. The only sort of thing, unless you're going to culture appropriate, what's a whole massive topic, it is like this Wicca. I'm not anti-Wicca, but I could never connect to it. It's probably, if you looked online for witches in the UK, that's probably what you'd find is Wicca. Yeah. So it's like there's rules, but there's not rules. There's set religions, but there's not set religions. I mean, what I follow is Celtic magic. What is basically the elements.
Is that Irish?
Well, it's Irish and ancient English, but I am Irish, so I connect to it through Ireland. Okay. But it is just having an appreciation for nature and sort of seeing nature as it is and for what it is. Okay. But there's no rules. That's the whole point. There's no rules at all. That's a religious construct. That's not a spiritual construct.
Got you. All right. Next question I want to ask you is, it's a double question.
Go on.
Witches, female witches, are a lot of them feminists, and the next question I want to ask you is, do they follow any female deities?
Oh, good question. So I think to be a witch, yeah, in a way, you sort of got to be feminist. I mean, a lot of the thing against women, I truly believe that I've studied history. I consider myself a historian, and a lot of the problem with women through the history, even with Black history, white history, all history, is that women were so powerful. And I believe that being a witch is just being a healer, and it's just being able to heal, not need anyone else, and be independent. So yeah, sorry, can you go to your question again? That one off.
Yeah. So the question was, are they
feminist?
You think?
So to me, they have to be feminist. In order to be a witch, you'd have to be feminist. But witches are not just for females.
Yeah, they're males as well.
A male would be called a witch as well.
Yeah. And
so it's a gender neutral term. But I do believe that you should be feminist. But they're still human beings, so I'm sure that you'll find the odd few that are not.
All right. And the next question was, do they follow any female deities?
Personally, I do. So I only follow female deities because most people believe in God and they believe in a male energy.
Yeah.
And I believe that it should be balanced out. I do believe in God, but I also believe if there was a God, there must have been a goddess, because in order to have creation, you need male and female energy.
Of course.
So I pray to a goddess, what I just look at as a mothering energy, like a nature and mothering energy. But there is male and female. A lot of witches do both, or it'd be certain areas. So if you wanted to petition for a certain thing, you would go to a certain energy. Like, so men would be more protective, more action based, and then women would be more creation, manifesting, and that sort of stuff.
Got you. What I wanted to say to you as well, like, I don't know whether it was television or whatever it was, but how I grew up is I always heard of witches. I was intrigued by witches, to be honest with you, but I was like sold the story that witches are bad people, they're evil, they cast spells. Where do you think that stereotype came from?
Well, I think that happened for a reason, and it all goes back to religion. Okay. Men and women were equal, and men and women should be equal.
Yeah.
No one should be above anyone. And I think the whole problem with the world is we've gone out of balance. The balance is the answer to everything. Every problem is because it's out of balance. And how we got out of balance was religion, mainly in this country and a lot of parts of the world where England's colonised. Christianity has got rid of it. So in Ireland, for example, it was all destroyed. Like Celtic magic, there's about 30 pieces of paper left of the whole history because it was destroyed by Christianity.
Okay.
And then also, if you look at the male god in Celtic religion, he has two massive horns.
Yeah.
So like the devil.
Yeah.
So it was just, even down to Lilith. If the story of Adam and Eve, Lilith was the first wife of Adam, and she didn't want to lay down. She wanted to get on top of Adam, and that's why she was kicked out, and she was considered the demon or the mother of demons because she didn't want to lay down.
Hold on, when you say Lilith,
yeah.
Where's that one in the Bible or is it in
that book? That would be in the Old Testament. So Lilith was Adam's first wife.
Okay.
And she wanted to be equal to Adam, but Adam said no, women has to be below. Apparently, I believe a lot of the Bible, and I believe in Jesus, I believe in God, I believe in a lot of it, but I believe that the woman part of it was taken out of it. And if you take out half of it and take out the respect for half of it, you're in a whole bag of problems. Like, everyone's got issues then.
Got you.
And I think Christianity is the one that done that, and that's why they made you hate witches, because witches were only independent women that didn't live with everyone else. They usually lived far away from everyone, maybe had a couple of animals around them, maybe was healers, and if you hurt yourself, they knew the herbs that would help you. And the patriarchal, like, Christian males didn't want that, so they would go and kill them and hang them and burn them and do whatever they needed to do.
Okay, I got you.
So then they just sort of demonized that over time.
I understand what you're saying now. I understand that. All right, so when it comes on to magic, can you just break down to people what is magic? Because there is some people out there who don't know what magic is.
Do you know with magic, I think people overcomplicate it. Like, to me, the fact that we're talking now is magic. The fact that we've got the ability to think and create in our minds, and you know when you have an idea and you write down something, and it feels like it comes from somewhere else.
Yeah.
That to me is magic. That's creation. That's the form of creation's magic. Or even when you cook dinner, when you're putting together ingredients and you're cooking something for people that you love because you want them to be healthy and you want them to feel special. To me, that's magic. Like essential oils, herbs, just basic things. Even down to cleaning your house can be magic. When you consciously think, it's about doing things consciously that you're consciously cleansing your house because you deserve it and because it's self-love, and it's the act of being conscious in what you're doing. Yeah. So it's not actually about smoke and mirrors or anything like that. Some people believe that, but not me personally.
So you're saying that magic is basically everything, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you go out for a walk and put your hand to a leaf and see that our hands are just the same, like the veins are the same as the leaf, to me that's magical. Like, this is the simplest little thing. And we're so distracted now that we don't even recognise it.
All right, let me rephrase this one then, yeah? So can you break down what witchcraft is?
So witchcraft, again, it's such a broad spectrum. For example, so the Bad Witch Coven, the whole coven, we have 3 head witches. So we have one that's a Reiki master, so she's like a Reiki witch. She can deal with energies and she can do crazy stuff. Like, she's probably the one that's most advanced. But whatever she could do, we could do. It's just all about seeing energy in a different way.
Yeah.
Then myself, I can do things like tarot readings and channel energy, but it's all things we've so disconnected from our gut instinct that it's once you start connecting to that, everything sort of opens up. So, like, to answer what witchcraft is, to me, it's just living. It's just real life and just being conscious in what I'm living. But if you was to ask, I mean, like a hoodoo witch or a Santeria witch, they would all mean different things. But I practice it in a very unique way because I haven't got roots in, like, the real best witchcraft, right, will always be witchcraft that stems from, like, the Caribbean islands and Africa.
Yeah.
That's the most strongest, well-known witchcraft that's still widely practiced. Like, what I practice, there's not a lot. We don't really know what we're meant to practice. It's all about going with our own gut instinct.
Okay.
So, for example, trees symbolise a lot in Celtic magic and for Celtic witches. The weather, the elements, when it changes. So when trees start to, like, even, you know, when you look at a tree, it makes me think of, like, reincarnation, for example. Like, so you've got the roots and stuff of your life, but then every life the leaves change, but it's still the same tree. So if, like, the leaves are all our different lives, so it's just about finding the connection of us and our lives to nature.
Got you. Yeah, that's big. I like that. I like the explanation you just gave there. Next question is, this one's a bit of a long one, yeah? What's the difference between a white witch, a black witch, a green witch, a hedger, a grey witch, a grey witch, a tech witch, a secular, and a secular.
I've not even heard of some of them.
Okay.
So I think most of them are absolute bollocks. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm not allowed to swear.
No, you're good.
But, for example, the black and white witch, I think, is racist. It's like Wicca doesn't have the same bad press that, like, West African magic would have, but yet West African magic is a lot more beautiful and in depth and a lot more to it than Wicca. So I feel like the black magic thing is very negative, a negative term, and it's the term I don't use. I think black, as in the colour black, is everything. The universe, if you was picturing the universe, it would be black, and then in black is every colour, and white is nothing. So the black and white witch doesn't make sense to me. If I was any, it would probably be a green witch, what means just a nature witch.
Like herbs and
herbs and stuff. And then, like, a hedge witch would have been, like I said earlier, when the women went away and sort of went and lived on their own in the middle of nowhere, they would have been a hedge witch.
Yeah. It's good that you touched on that thing about the black and white, because I've always wondered that, because I thought to myself, hold on a minute, Africa magic is like outcast, yeah. You must have used that. It's black magic. It's evil. It's whatever it is.
Juju and all that, yeah.
And then, like, you see people that come on YouTube and stuff and say, I'm a white witch and I do this and I do that. And I think to myself, but magic is magic, really.
Exactly.
Yeah? And if you're a witch,
humans are right and wrong. Humans are good and evil, but magic is just magic. It's in the person, whether they're doing their intention. Magic's all about intention and what you're intending to do.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But, yeah, no, you're spot on. It was definitely, it's a racist term. I personally believe so as well, and a lot of people also don't use the terms for that reason.
Yeah. One of the witches that I named, is called a tech witch, and when I done the research, it says that the tech witch uses, like, iPhones, iPads, computers, and stuff like that. It's like they do tarot cards, but they do it via the computers.
Online. That's how I do mine. So yeah, so I would be a tech witch as well. I think a lot of people now use their practice online. Just because there's not a lot of us. I mean, over in the US, especially in New York, like my business partner's from New York, and she's in the biggest community. Like there's such a big community over there. Whereas over here, there's really not.
Okay, exactly.
Like there's really not. So it needs to be online for everyone to sort of get in contact.
And one more thing about that question, yeah. There was two more. There was one called a Sea Witch. You heard of that one?
Yeah.
And there was one called a Fairy Witch. Now the Fairy Witch, yeah. Do you believe that part about the Fairy Witch, that they use fairies and all that stuff to?
So that's Celtic. So that comes under the witchcraft that I practice.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a tricky one to explain. So in Celtic magic, we believe that there's 3 parallel lifetimes. So like all time exists in that one moment. The only time that exists is now, right?
Yeah.
So our past exists now, and our future exists now, and it all exists now. And then running parallel with this is apparently like another universe, and we used to be able to see it. But then when our consciousness has gone lower and we're not as into it, we don't see it as much.
Go on.
I don't know if I believe it. I'm not going to say yes, it's definitely true. But that's what they believe in the Celtic magic system, belief system.
Okay, so you see the Celtic magic system, yeah? You see that they talk about the fairies. Would that mean that there are also leprechauns and all that? Because Irish people always talk about leprechauns.
Do you know what? I do believe, right, that there was things before. So there was a big flood. In Noah, there was a big flood. Yeah. That's gone. All religions have this flood in it. I do believe it happened. There's scientific evidence. Before that, I believe that there was different animals, there was different things that was in this earth, and I believe that we don't know. And because our historians are like this toxic male brain that want to know everything, they've always said that they know what there was, but I don't think they know what there was. I think they don't have no idea. I think even down to, if you look at what was in Egypt before the flood, they haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
Like even ancient in Africa, for example, the amount of different civilizations, even down to Atlantis, they believe was in Africa, like underneath the desert and stuff. Like they don't have a clue. They really don't. So I don't think we know what was here before. I wouldn't be surprised. That makes just as much sense as like with leprechauns. They could have just been short people.
Yeah. Because I used to live with an Irish family. Big up the Wards. Yeah, I used to live with the Irish
My
family.
husband's a Ward.
Yeah, and they always used to tell me these stories about leprechauns. I used to say, "Oh, bullshit." But but as you get older, you can't really rule nothing out in this world right now.
You really can't. That's the thing. I think it's ignorant to do so, and I also believe that there's a lot underground as well. I believe when the floods happened, a lot of people and things went underground, and they probably just didn't come up.
Of course. All right. What I want to ask now is, for the witches, that are practicing witchcraft, that is bad. And using it against people, yeah.
Yeah.
When they are doing that type of witchcraft, yeah, are they still people that is believing in God that are doing stuff like that? Because some people say when you're doing stuff you're working with the devil, and when people say when you're doing stuff that's good, you're working with God.
I don't think it's like, for example, a lot of bad press, like we said, is on black magic, like so as in hoodoo, voodoo and stuff. But I believe a lot of these spells and things that they come up is from people that were oppressed for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like it's not that long ago that these people were oppressed, and even in Ireland there was a lot of oppression going on.
Of course.
So like if someone's killed your whole family and you want to go and put that person in a jar, then I think you should do that. Like personally, like I think well done. I would help them. But I do believe in the law of 3, and a lot of witches do. They believe that if whatever you put out in the universe comes back times 3. So if, for example, someone hurt my son, I'll take that times 3. But I wouldn't be going around here doing anything negative just for my own self, not even for anything else, but because I believe in a higher divine, and I believe that I'm not meant to put that energy into the world.
Yeah, that's big. All right, so when witches use candles, yeah. Can you give us like a little brief description on what type of candles are what and what they're used for, like color ranges?
So with the colour, I don't know off the top of my head, but for example, orange would be like manifesting. There'll be different colours for certain deities. So if you wanted to use goddesses and gods, you would use the colour representing that goddess and god, among other things like crystals, foods, all different things. Like if someone, just say if you had an aunt that was coming around that you really liked and you really respected her and you really wanted to hear her opinion and ask her for a massive favour, and you cooked all her favourite foods and you made sure it smelled like the thing that she likes, and it's just a bit like that. So with the candles, it's always about intention. So you can just use a white candle, any candle, and it's about focusing on the light in almost like meditating, so you can clear your mind and clear your space. Mm-hmm. So I think the colour doesn't matter necessarily unless it helps you focus more. Anything to do with magic is always about the intention. So it's about the colour signifying something in your head, so it can help you with your intention.
Yeah.
So just use a candle. Just literally sit in front of a candle and look at it. Look at it's fire. Like think about how magical and deep and beautiful fire is.
Yeah. So
and that's giving it your energy.
So it's past the colour of the candle. It's actually the
nothing. To me personally, nothing like that matters. We are the magic ones. Yeah. Everything that we use are just tools. It's us that are the magic.
You got you. All right. So, like spells and stuff like that. Yeah. Mhm. Like when witches are casting spells on people. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I know you don't, but yeah. Can you break down what that exactly is?
So I don't believe, for example, if I was saying, right, I hope Sally down the road is going to lose her hair, I don't think for a second that's going to happen. I don't think there's a way of making that happen. But if I rang up Sally and said, look, Sally, I'm about to make your hair fall out, poor Sally would get so stressed out, her hair would probably fall out and she'd almost manifest it on herself. Okay. So I believe when people are saying that and doing it, it's just you that sort of, someone plants a seed in your head and then it's you that manifests it.
Okay, so it's really about the person's belief.
Yeah, so I feel like if you put weight on it, like I know nothing can affect me, and because I know that, nothing can affect me.
Got you.
Because it's the intent. But on the other hand, like I said, like Santeria, there's all different practices that I know that they maybe can. I've just never come across it. I don't believe in cultural appropriation with magic. I believe that you should stick to your roots. You should learn try and learn everything, but you stick to what you should be doing.
Got you.
Like, I don't believe that I should be practicing West African magic, for example, as a white woman. I just don't think it's appropriate.
Okay, got you. Is there any like specific like colours or clothes that people wear, or you could just wear what you want?
Wear what you want. This is the thing. That's exactly it. It's literally wear what you want. You can look or be whoever you want. It's just about having this divine connection. A lot of people I know don't even identify as a witch, but they definitely are. And it's just about how you view the world almost, and how you communicate and connect with the world around you.
Okay, so this question is, to be a witch, right?
Yeah.
Would it make you any stronger a witch to be someone that is generational, it passed down in your generations, or just to someone that says, I'm going to study that and become that?
Of course, I think definitely generational. I think your roots and where you're rooted into, and your roots are your ancestors, so they're everyone in your past, so everyone that's come before you. I definitely think that, but I also think that a lot of people may not have it, that it's their last generation or the generation before. It was 1,000 generations ago. And then I also believe in past life, so I feel like that comes into play. But I do definitely think the people, like my friend, like I said, Reiki with Denise, she's sort of one of the heads of the coven, and her family, she's got a long line, and she's very powerful because of that. Like, very, very powerful. I do honestly believe it, but I also believe it's because it's been nurtured and taught from so long as well.
Yeah. Do you believe, when it comes to female witches, do you believe that they have a lot of problems sustaining a relationship due to the fact that they labelled themselves as a witch?
I think spiritual women in general have a hard time staying in relationships because we don't want to put up with shit, to be honest. And the witch thing, to be honest, I don't know. I was married and then I started referring to myself as a witch. But that was because I opened a cover and people started calling me the bad witch, and then it was just sort of went from there. I feel like there is a stigma around the name witch, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think if it does put people off, people that call themselves witches would not care. Well, that'd be good. They'd be like, good. It's repelling the right ones.
Because I think like for how I've grown up and what I know, yeah, that name is like, it's like it brings a bit of fear or something, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like when you
100%.
When you watched Wizard of Oz and that, when that Green Witch come, I used to shit it when I used to see that. Do you understand? And now I laugh.
I know that's the thing, and it was all done for a reason. It's like if some woman come along and landed a house on your sister, wouldn't you want to kill her?
Of course. But
to be fair, I don't. It's not even that I think in the stories that these witches are right. I just feel like it was always painted like the unknown is always scary to people. So I feel like witches were always a bit unknown, and people, they're not exactly sociable people. Usually they're very like in their own head. If that makes sense. Yeah. I do think Hollywood's got a lot to answer, but it's changing. Like there's things like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that's new out. Curse. There's a few programs that I think are showing it in a better light. Yeah.
All right. So you know, what scares you, as a witch, yeah? What scares you? Are you more scared of what's in the physical, or are you more scared of what's in the spiritual?
Definitely physical. Definitely. I think spiritually, if you don't want things near you, I feel like that, and you're very clear of that. I feel like nothing comes near you anyway. Okay. And I'm very strong in that belief, and that's probably why it works for me. I think in the physical, I grew up in a very rough area in London, and I've seen ridiculous things.
Yeah.
But the physical, there's nothing that I would ever see, I think, on the other side that I would be as bad as that.
Got you.
And I think, if anything, this helps that. So this helps, like, my PTSD, my trauma, like, all of these things, like, this spiritual and this witchcraft stuff helps that.
Right, yeah. All right, this one is a bit of a funny one, but I have to ask anyway, yeah? All right. Do most witches have cats, or is that just another myth?
As much as women have cats, I think most witches, the people that refer to themselves as witches, are women, even though it's a gender-neutral term. And a lot of women have cats. I don't think it's necessarily that if you're a witch you get a cat, but I think they do. Yeah, I don't, but that's because my husband won't let me get one.
yeah.
But a lot of them do, yeah. But I think, I don't know what comes first. I don't know if it's because of that, or if it's just because out of cats and dogs, cats are a bit more independent, and maybe that's similar to witches. Witches are like independent women that are bad bitches. That's a cat, isn't it? Cats are very bougie.
Yeah, got you. All right, so let's say someone wants to become a witch, yeah? Male or female. What would it take for them to become a witch?
It's just choice. It's like, that would be like saying, what would it take to become a Christian? You just believe in it. I think a lot of people, like I said, I don't think it's about people wanting to become a witch. I feel like people already are. They just don't have that label.
Okay, what would it take to decode that then?
Just to call yourself it. I think a lot, like, there's nothing, you don't need to actually do anything. It's about, if you have a certain belief system and you want to call yourself a witch, then you can. And it doesn't have to be the same as me, my belief system. It just has to be anything that would be considered pagan, really. What literally just rules anything outside Christianity.
Okay, got you.
So it's a bit of a tricky one. I think the word witch, people don't like it. People don't like associating with it either. And even down to the name of my coven, a lot of people have suggested me changing it. But I'm so passionate about the whole movement of it and what the whole bad witch name represents that I've just not.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I think, if you, like, for example, I didn't want to call myself a witch, and then people started calling me the bad witch, and then I sort of ran with it.
Yeah. But in this day and time, your title, people would see the they'll see the bad, they'll see the witch, and they'll be like, I'm getting out of here, mate. Because that's two bad words out of three.
That's it.
In society, which it doesn't actually always mean what people think it means.
100% agree, and that's the thing I've battled with. But I do believe, you just believe in something.
Yeah, of course.
And I believe that it needs to have the stigma needs to be taken away from it.
Yeah.
And I think if you call something bad and people are like, well, it's not actually bad, it's just like a double thing.
I think most words have got double meanings anyway, innit?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that's real. Alright, how does your family feel about you being a witch?
Well, so my dad's fully Irish, and to be honest, that side of the family either dead in Ireland, and I don't talk to my dad, so it's not really a problem.
Okay.
My mum's side, my mum's always been very spiritual. I mean, she don't identify as a witch, but she's very, very spiritual. And my other dad was married to my mum and brought me up. So that side, they're fine. They embrace it. My husband was a bit funny at first. Like when I ordered a cauldron, he refused to let it in the house. And then
you ordered a
when he see the size of it, yeah.
What are you doing with the cauldron? What are you doing with the cauldron? Cooking in it?
No, it's tiny. It only fits in your hand. It's tiny. It's just to like burn things in and stuff.
Okay.
See like herbs and stuff in. But he was like, it's not coming in, and then it turned up, and you see how small it was, and you just never commented on it since.
Okay, got you.
I think you realised how silly he was being.
Cauldron. I ain't heard of that since the storybook. Seriously. But
yeah, cauldron. They're cool. They're fun. Yeah. You got to check out my page, the Bad Witch Official.
All right,
on Instagram.
All right, hold that, because I'm going to ask you that. That's going to be the last one I'm going to ask you. All right, the last two questions now, yeah?
Go on, perfect.
For the general public, yeah?
Yeah.
What would you like the general public to know about you as being the Bad Witch?
Oh, that's a big question. The main thing I want the public to know, right, is that witches and the word witch has been a victim of the same shit a lot of other things have been a victim of, and we've just all got to look at things as from our own perspective rather than what we've been programmed to think. Like everyone always talks about brainwashing, but then actually don't look at their own brainwashing, if that makes sense.
Of course.
So it's like, just look into it. Just look into it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, face it.
Don't
Face
assume.
it. Yeah?
What were you saying, sorry?
You say face it, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, the last question now is, where can the general public find you?
So my main thing that I'm on is Instagram. Like I said a minute ago, the Bad Witch Official. Mm-hmm. But we have got a Facebook group, and that's for anyone that wants to have discussions, want to ask questions, anything like that. And that's the Bad Witch Coven group on Facebook. And then there's also Rachel with Denise and the Unhinged Witch, who are my... I don't know how to say it, but we both run the coven together. So, yeah, we come as a free.
Hold on, I want if you say free, Destiny Child, the group,
that's
yeah?
it.
All right.
3 is a magical number. So even in Celtic magic, there's like the law of 3. So like anything you put out comes back times 3. So it's like a magical number. All numbers are magical though, but you know what I mean.
Got you. All right, so I've just got to say, I got to big up the bad girl Damper, yeah, because she gave me.
Yeah, she's another bad witch.
She gave me the link to you, yeah, and she's a bad girl rapper as well. So
she is very talented.
And last question I want to ask you now. Well, the last question I want to ask you is there anybody you want to send a big up and a shout out to?
I've already said Reiki with Denise. She's the best Reiki master ever. She does it over the phone as well, so she's a tech witch as well.
Okay, yeah.
And then we have the Unhinged Witch, who's my other sidekick, and then Lost Boys as well. Lost Boys Made It, who is like, they help us with everything from like the music, like, so we get some grime beats and stuff like that. They make beats for us, they make logos for us, everything.
Got you.
So yeah, Lost Boys Made It. You can find them on Instagram as well.
All right. I just want to say thank you for your time and thank you for the enlightenment about.
You're more than welcome.
This subject. It's a very deep subject. It's something that I wanted to know more about, but obviously I was a bit skeptical because I didn't know who, where, when. Do you know what I mean?
But at least you went and found out. Rather than being ignorant, you were skeptical, so you asked the questions, and that's what we need more of.
Exactly, and I'm glad I done it today because it made me know that, you know what I mean? If you want to know something, you got to ask, innit?
100%. I really appreciate you giving me sort of like the platform to share it all as well and sort of bring like to the movement, really.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. And let's keep the link anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If you ever want me back on, just let me know.
I definitely will. Do that. Yeah.
All right, cool. No worries at all.
Have a blessed night, and to you and your family and everybody, and big up to yourself. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Speak
the one
to you
and
soon.
only Bad Witch out.
That's it. See you later.
Bless
Bye.
up. Bless up. There you go, people. The one and only, the Bad Witch. Yeah? Drums, I'm out.